Hey everybody out there, today for you guys we're going to be doing a deck profile today of a deck that I've really enjoyed playing and reconstructing. I profiled this deck for you guys about once a year, and I've been playing and testing this deck for about 2 months now, and I've really enjoyed playing this deck, and I hope you guys also enjoy the playmat as well. But today for you guys we are going to be doing a deck profile of my Relinquished deck, or as you can call it also, your Millennium Eyes, Thousand Eyes, Restrict deck. So we run Thousand Eyes and Millennium Eyes over here. So you can call that either or, but it's pretty much a Relinquished deck. This deck is a Kaiju variation that helps you easily go for the fusions. It's pretty consistent at what it does. It is not meta, but it's a very fun deck to play, and I've had a lot of fun playing this deck at locals, and it's pretty consistent at what it does. So let us get into the deck profile, guys, without further ado. So first off, we run 3 Relinquish in the deck. Relinquish is essential for your plays. I'm not going to read the entire card decks. You guys know what this card does. Pegasus played it in the anime. It's a cool card. But pretty much what you're going to be doing using Relinquish for is you're going to be giving your opponent a Kaiju and then sucking up the Kaiju. That's how you're mainly going to get his big attack, because he'll always have an attack most of the time of 2,000 plus attack because of the Kaiju monsters. Next we run Millennium Eyes Restrict, which is essential in the deck. If you guys do not know what this card does, this is kind of the backbone of the deck. This is what makes it tick. This card is so essential. So what you can do is this card is kind of like a hand trap and a tribute fodder card. So what does it do? Well, say you tribute summon or go for a fusion play, and you tribute this card for a ritual summoning, right? So I tribute this card to bring out Relinquish, and this is in graveyard. Well, it states when it's in the card, when Relinquish comes to the field, you get to add it back to your hand. Or say if you have you go for a fusion play of one of the main fusions, well then if this is in the graveyard, you can add it back to your hand. So this card's really essential for the different combo plays they do, because it's a hand trap. So say you have Relinquish on the field, or you have Millennium Eyes 1000 Restrict on the field. You can pitch this card from your hand, target an opponent's effect monster, and attach it to your monster, your Relinquish or Thousand Eyes Restrict monsters, which is really, really nice because it's a quick effect. So, oh, you got that card. Hey, quick effect, pitch, suck it up. There you go. So it's really useful for that reason. Next we run 1 Illusionist Faceless Mage. Some people run this as a 2 of. I've seen back in the day people ran this as a 3 of. I personally just like it as a 1 of in the deck. You can easily Foolish Burial this card to the graveyard, but it's just a nice little card to have, because if your Restrict monsters or your Relinquish is killed, this can come out onto the field, and then if it dies, you can Reborn a Relinquish with the Restrict monster, which is nice. So I do like it as a 1 of in that respect, because it can Reborn, become a chump blocker, or you could also use it for link fodder, which I've done once or twice, but mainly it's going to help you Reborn your other cards. Next we run 3 Manju of 10,000 hands. This is essential. You do not run the incantations in this deck. They would get kind of clunky. I've seen people try it. It's okay, but you don't need it because of how consistent this deck is on its own with the other cards that you run. And because you're also running the Kaiju package, you don't really need the incantation engine as well. So that's what I've found from my experience personally. But 3 Manju helps search out your Relinquish, over here, helps search out Relinquish, and also helps search out your Black Eyes, Black Illusion Ritual as well. So those are the main cards you're going to help search out in the deck. Next we run a Kaiju package, so I run 3 Gamorreal, 3 Doggoron, and 1 Ultimate Great Moth's cousin, or as I like to call him, Gandora. So yes, why do I run Gandora? Why do I run this? Well, I found through playtesting that running 6 Kaijus is the best ratio. I've seen people run 1 of each Kaiju. I've seen different things. Well, there's a reason because I run these Kaijus in particular. They're all level 8s. We run trade-in in the deck, because if the Kaijus get clunky, you can pitch them and draw 2 cards. The awesome thing about this as well is because Kaiju Slumber is back at 3 of, you want at least, I find, 6 Kaijus in case you draw 1 or 2 of them. In addition to that, I want big beater kaijus because I want to be able to do a lot of damage to my opponent, or especially when I suck that monster up, I have a lot of power that I can push through things. The other cool thing is what you can do with Kaiju Slumber is once you use Kaiju Slumber, you clear the board. When you're able to banish the Kaiju Slumber and add another Kaiju to your hand, you can, and say you have a trade-in in your hand, you can trade in that Kaiju to draw 2 more cards deeper into your deck. So it's a mini coexistence between trade-in and Kaiju Slumber and the Kaijus. If they get bricky, they can become a draw engine, and they also can have the ability to crack boards. It's a beautiful, harmonious relationship with this deck, and I love it. So that's why I run these ratios, because these are level 8s. This is level 8. This is level 8. This is level 8. That's the reason why. That's why I don't run all the other ones, because they're not level 8s. Next, we run 3 Interrupted Kaiju Slumber, which we were just talking about. Like I said, this is a combo-esque card, so to speak, in some regards, with trade-in, because when you add the Kaiju to your hand after banishing it, you can either use it to get rid of an opponent's monster and suck it up, or if you need to draw into more cards, you can pitch the Kaiju to draw 2 more cards with trade-in. It's beautiful. And this is just a great card in its own because it helps you crack opponents' boards. Yep. Next, we run 3 Pre-Preparation of Rites. This helps you add your Relinquished card and also helps you add your Black Illusion Ritual. Pretty straightforward there, right? Next up, we run 3 Pre-Preparation of Rites. Now, some people run 3 Pre-Preparation of Rites, and some people do not run Pre-Preparation of Rites as well. I like it because I want to get consistently as possible to my Relinquished cards and reuse my things and my resources in graveyard, because you'll go for like 1 to 2 Relinquish a duel. Now, some other people, because this deck does incorporate fusion cards like Instant Fusion, Super Polymerization, and the Relinquished Fusion, have decided instead of running this card to run the Orthoscorpio Darling Cobra engine, which is cool. I think that's a cool little tech in the deck. I like it. But I will say at the end of the day, while I have tried that out and it does work, I'm kind of más o menos about it, because I find while it does work, you're running a lot of different engines, and it just wasn't meshing for me. There's probably a card or 2 you could take out of this deck to maybe run that engine in the deck if you wanted to. I am playtesting that out. I am trying some other things out, because I was trying it initially when I was building the deck, but I was like, I really like this Kaiju Slumber engine. I really like this engine. And sometimes what would happen is if I drew the Darling Cobra, my deck would just be like, oh, crud, this doesn't help me. I had enough draw power and search power in the deck where I was able to get to my fusions very easily. If you want to incorporate the Darling Cobra Orthoscorpio engine, be my guest. The Predaplant engine, if you know what I'm talking about. But me personally, I want to get to my ritual as soon as possible over my fusion monsters, because the fusions are nice to have, but if I can't get my ritual out, I'm kind of stuck. I'm up the creek without a paddle. So that's why I run 3 Pre-Preparation Rites. Plus, it helps recover resources as well. So, like I said, you could run, if you want to play the deck a little bit differently, go right ahead. It does work. It's just a preference, so to speak. Next, we run 3 Black Illusionist Ritual. I am so happy I got supers of this card. It is such a good card. It's such a fun card to play, and I'm so happy about it. I also got one from, so I got, I should mention, 2 Spell Rulers, and this one over here is from Magic Ruler, which is really cool. Just wanted to mention that. I'm so proud of that. I finally picked them up after years of not having them. Next, we run 3 Relinquished Fusion. One thing people forget about this card is it is a quick play spell. Do not forget that. That does sometimes come into play. But 3 Relinquished Fusion is essential to the deck. Next, we run double Instant Fusion in the deck. This helps you go for sometimes your Millennium Eyes Restrict and sometimes your 1,000 Eyes Restrict. The reason I say sometimes Millennium Eyes, even though you want to make it with the Fusion, is because you want to protect yourself from hand traps. And one of the ways you can do that is by bringing this out through Instant Fusion, then using Link Karibo after your turn, before you end your turn, to go into Link Karibo for more protection, which is nice. So that's why I say sometimes you will use it for Millennium Eyes Restrict to help protect yourself, not just, you know, Thousand Eyes. We also run 2 Super Poly. You could run 3 Super Poly, but personally, through playtesting, I found 3 to be a little bit too much. I like 2. It's a great card. Don't get me wrong. Spell speed 4. It's not 4. It's spell speed 5, I think. Whatever. You know what I'm trying to say. It's a great card. But I found 3 to be a little bit too much. 2 of is great. It helps you go for your Millennium Eyes mainly. Just awesome. And if not your Millennium Eyes, it can also help you go for your Starving Venom Fusion Dragon, which does come up sometimes. Sometimes. Next we run 2 trade-in. You could run 3 trade-in, but I just like 2. 3 was getting, even though you have that combo play a lot, you also want to sometimes, like I said earlier, use your Kaijus to give to your opponent so you can suck them up. And for that reason, not always will a trade-in be great, but as a 2 of, I really like it in the deck. Not a 3 of, though. Next, we run a Monster Reborn and Foolish Burial. This is to help send... Foolish Burial is mainly here to help send this bad boy to grave, and Monster Reborn to help revive stuff so you can reuse stuff and beat your opponent in the face with stuff. So, yep. Structure Deck Pegasus Monster Reborn 2, I believe that is. Next, we got our Field Center. Then we got our 3 Millennium Eyes Restrict. Our 2 Thousand Eyes Restrict. And we also run our Starving Venom Fusion Dragon, which sometimes you will go into. Sometimes. Then we run Double Link Kaiba, which is very essential to run 2 of in the deck. Do not just run 1, run 2. You will need it. Then we also run Wee Witch's Apprentice, which sometimes you do make. The main cards you're going to make out of this entire deck are the Double Link Kaiba and these fusions. Everything else is extra to some degree. Wee Witch's Apprentice, Cerberus, Phoenix. Then we also run Nightmare Unicorn. Triple Burst Dragon is something I'm teching out. We run Blackluster Soldier, Soldier of Chaos, and we also run Boral Sword Dragon as well. And that is the extra deck in a nutshell, guys. Not too much more to say about it. But, like I said, I showed you the main ones you're going to go for most of the time. But, oh my gosh, I love this deck to pieces. Like, you have no idea how fun this deck is to play. Like I said at the beginning of the video, it's not super competitive. It's not going to be a meta-defining deck. But will it kick your opponent's butt? Will you have fun cracking boards? Will you have some fun beating meta decks out there? Yes, you will. But it's more of a local fun deck that's really fun to play. And I thoroughly enjoy this deck to pieces because it's really enjoyable. But till next time, guys, take care. Have fun dueling. Good luck dueling. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and bell the channel to see more awesome content. And I'll see all of you guys next time. Good luck dueling to all of you, and hope you guys all enjoyed this deck profile. Take care, everybody.